but District Council in their own wisdom make the ultimate decision on all applications that come forward. They in turn, the ones that are come to get called in, come to the Plans North Committee that sits once a month. I should mention I'm also a member of that committee at the District Council, as a District Councillor. If anybody wants anything explaining or anything, please ask me either tonight or indeed at any time afterwards. I'll always help any way I can do on the planning system. But I always say to people, whatever decision we say tonight, it's only comments that the officers receive in St Albans. So whether we speak for something or we speak against it, the ultimate decision will be taken by the District Council. Okay, right, we'll go on to our agenda. Apologies for absence.
Yes, Chairman, we have apologies from Councillor Cameron.
Okay, okay. We have no substitutes, so we'll proceed. Short, not to worry. Do we have any declarations of interest?
No.
Good, good. Thank you very much. Right. Is everybody happy for me to sign the minutes of our meeting that we held on the 5th of March?
Yes.
Very good. Right. Couple of minutes. Do the honours. Didn't sign the blank page. I'm not going to crack it. Right. Do we have any public questions in accordance to our standing orders? Good. Do we have any letters of objections? Good. People know. Right. We've got on to our applications. Out of courtesy to our visitors here tonight, I will do your planning applications first. I'll do the Cold Harbour Lane one first, and then the where it was the other one, and that one. So yeah, you're quite welcome to stay as long as you like and hear our discussions, whether it be on greenhouses or anything. But we'll do your two applications first, out of courtesy.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Right. So we'll go on to. Thank you very much. 22. I'll be looking after the. Right. This is page 17 in our agenda. Planning reference 5/2019 0597. It's a change of use, application for change of use from Class B1 business to sui generis beauty clinic, resubmission following the refusal of 5/2018 3305 at Wesley House, 42 Cold Harbour Lane. We have the applicant, I believe, Mrs. Zoe Core here tonight. So I've just read the reasons again for what the district said, but we'll worry about that in a minute. If you'd like to
Yes.
sit in here, you've got
Thank you.
3 minutes to
Perfect.
have your say.
So hi, I'm Zoe Gore. I'm the owner of the AL5 Aesthetics and Training. Just to give you a brief description, we're basically a skin clinic that looks after people's skin health, skin disorders, and general medical health. I just want to start off with countering what the officer said with the refusal, because she said that a sui generis use would result in loss of an employment unit and would undermine the function of the designated employment area. I just want to say this does not result in the loss of an employment unit as far as I'm aware. It is the opposite. It safeguards an employment unit for the future. There are no external or internal changes required, as a lot of the space will be used for office space anyway. Over the last sort of 2-3 years, I've been looking for places to expand. I looked at a barn at Hammond's End. I looked on the high street as well, but due to cost, it was just not viable. Also, clients stressing that they wanted privacy, not just to walk out on the high street after having these sort of procedures done. So then we found Westerly House. It's an ideal location, easy parking facility. It was the right size. I mean, it ticks all the boxes. Plus, I'm looking to employ about 6 people, so long term, it's a viable employment generating use. So it's the only problem we had was changing it from a B1 to a sui generis. The local plan is now 24 years old, and the employment policies do not make provisions for sui generis uses such as mine and changes to the local business needs. We're also looking at the policy ER2 of the neighbourhood plan, which states changes of use to the non-B class use will not be supported unless it can be demonstrated that the premises are no longer suitable for a B1 business use, or there is clear evidence that this is no prospect for the new commercial occupier to be found, which would be to say he's finding it difficult. My research shows that there is excess office floor space across the unit, as referred to in the letters provided by existing occupiers, which you have in your packs. We would like to utilise some of this empty floor space to expand our business, and we would welcome the support of the neighbourhood plan. There are various businesses outside use class B1 within the employment area, which demonstrates that alternative uses can be acceptable in EMP1. Examples are Chelford Fabrics, which is an A1, we've got Just Tiles, which is sui generis, and then you've got Fallow and Bull, which is an A1 shops and retail. There are at least another 4 or 5 outside use class B1. Harkinen Employment and Retail Vision, as I understand, supports new businesses and a prosperous economy through encouraging improvements in existing employment areas. On that note, I wish you to consider my application and support my new local business, which I feel will bring new improvements to Cold Harbour Lane, which is currently struggling to fill and utilise space that is empty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, Tim, I think that the applicants explained everything. I do know a little bit about this application as well, but over to you.
Well, the only concerns I've got are that we were quite vociferous when we went through the neighbourhood plan that we were going to protect employment areas. And to me, it's quite clear what ER2 stands for, actually.
So that it complies with all the...
Well, it doesn't, I don't think it implies it.
It doesn't comply, or it doesn't apply.
Doesn't comply with ER2.
Right.
So
see, I thought it did. At the moment it's empty offices and staying as an office. Please, have the phone.
Well, I was taking the view that if there's empty space there, I'd rather see it being used.
Yes, I mean,
it
will still be offices
afterwards.
It'll still be
offices afterwards, and I think there has to be a degree of flexibility. I think that's preferable to just having empty space.
I understand. I thought that there was a section in one of these where it talked about possibly reverting back to the classification Class B1 business.
It can be,
It can.
at any time, I understand, because it's not actually, no actual materialistic changes in the building or the...
There would be no structural changes.
No structural changes, so it could
is
be...
that a difficult thing to do?
What to...
If sui generis ceased to trade there, could it be reverted back?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, very quickly. There is another one next door, an empty office next door, which is still empty as well, another one.
Well, I think they've given that possibility, but that's...
It's not changing it into flats or anything.
Change.
Yes.
Yes. And I think given there's deputy space, that's Ruby Bailey.
I'm a supporter.
I mean, I must admit, the original application that was refused last year, unfortunately, didn't read as it should have done and came out more like a massage parlour. Unfortunately, but I think this was because the way it was, the application was originally put in by the applicant's agent. But since then, certainly I've read what I can do about it. We've got our facts. It explains a little bit more. I mean, from the chair, how you want to support this, because the moment it's empty with no employment,
I understand.
the potential is that it could be used as soon as planning applications granted, and will employ up to 6 people in something which really will not change the building in that respect. Are we complying with everything here?
Yeah, because in the preamble it tends to be more about protecting it from residential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, I think it's degree of flexibility, I don't think it's rigid.
Yeah.
On what employment there should be, it's just that there's
Yeah.
what employment there.
It actually says directions preventing the loss of employment and to residential use
Yes.
without planning permission. So
Yes,
I'm
so
reading it that's more about
Maintain employment, it's not saying
Yeah.
what, it's not being specific about what.
No, exactly.
Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Now with this explanation as such
Yes,
and Mim's guidance.
Yes, I think so. My worry was that something can appear to be empty now, but as Hartenden changes, you find some companies are moving to Coldwell around, and suddenly there won't be space for this cafes. That's
But this obviously will be a company that will be existing,
Yeah.
and there is obviously a large amount of offices being built in the Panwater's Jarvis development. Obviously to be a lot more offices there available as offices. So from the chair, I'd like to recommend that we recommend that this application should be approved and granted in that respect, and convey that message to St Albans and see what happens, because I don't think it's doing anything against our neighbourhood plan. So can we have a vote on that?
Yes, sorry, Chair.
Sorry.
Sorry, Chair, could I just say, and perhaps we should put in wording that it is compliant with our neighbourhood plan.
Yeah. Is that okay? Can we?
Are you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Are you agree with that?
Okay,
Yes,
yes.
that's fine.
Yeah. Is that okay, Rob? Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to contradict your thoughts.
Well, for me, it's the fact that they can go back to,
It's a balance between the.
Yes. No, I agree. We do want to encourage employment. This is really protecting employment.
Yeah. If there's a waiting list for officers,
Yes.
I'd be a little bit more concerned. But the fact that there is quite a few empty ones, even down there, with more being built, I'd like to see something down there in that respect. So, are we happy to vote?
Yeah. Yes. That's
All right. So
grant.
just to clarify that for the people who are here, we, as a advisory committee, are recommending to the district council that your application should be granted because it does comply with our neighbourhood plan. Okay, that's as far as we can take it, and then it goes forward now to St Albans, and you will be allowed, when it comes, because I believe this has now been called in, if I understand correctly, to St Albans, has it? Has it been called in?
I believe it was going to be. Yeah, it was going to be, so I presume it has been, yeah.
I don't know. If you need, I can't, I haven't checked, but you do need to get hold of your local council that covers Coldharbour Lane, Steve knows who he might be able to contact, because unfortunately I can't call it in on your behalf
Yes, sure.
as a member of the committee.
It's
So
not
it
showing
is,
on there.
right, at the moment it is not showing, so you do need to get hold of your
Stephen
councillor to get
Hodgson.
it called in.
Yeah, so it's Stephen Hodgson.
Yeah, you do need to get hold of him
Okay.
and say, please can you make sure this is called in?
Yeah.
And then if it comes to Plans North, similar routine to tonight, a bit more formal. I sit on that committee. I have to start it all over again with the evidence that we've got from our officers. But again, you would be given 3 minutes to do a presentation. And I would advise, if I don't have to speak to you, your packs very kindly prepared and sent out to the committee today, or whether you send them out. You would need to make sure that got through to each member of the Plans North. I can help you with that nearer the time.
That'd be very kind, thank you.
Okay? No problem.
Thank you.
Good. Right. We're now on to the Greyfriars Lane one. What page are you on?
214.
Right. I was looking for 257. Good. Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Right, this is planning reference 5/2019 0045. This proposal is for a two-storey dwelling with habitable roof space and double garage for demolition of the existing building at 1 Greyfriars Lane, Arthindale, for Mr. Elliot Lamb. We have a speaker tonight, Mr. Colin Spur, sorry, my apologies. Reading note. Who's going to speak against this application, and you see the routine?
Would you like me to come up?
If you don't mind, it's
It's easier for us to do.
You don't have microphones, so
It's fine because
it's a bit more friendly as well.
you know, I'm totally impartial on this bit, but I know I only know very little about it.
Okay,
But
that's fine.
anyway, Mr. Chairman and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to read a short statement by the owners of Redcoat Manor, who are overseas on holiday, to strongly object to the application. Redcoat Manor is a locally listed building which dates back to the 1890s. It's situated in the Harpenden Conservation Area. As a locally listed building, policy ESD 2 (4) of Harpenden Neighbourhood Plan applies and specifically states proposals that would result in a negative impact to an undesignated heritage asset, i.e. a locally listed, without an adequate public benefit would not be supported. We believe the application specifically and directly breaches this policy. To explain, the bungalows at numbers 1 and 2 Greyfriars Lane were originally built on a small plot at the end of the rear garden of Redcoat Manor in 1984. They were built as bungalows because they're situated immediately to the rear of Redcoat Manor, its principal setting, and directly to its west. The then owners could have built houses rather than bungalows and made more money, but they did not, no doubt, to preserve this important setting to the west. And they put in place a restricted covenant on the future development of 1 Greyfriars to try and preserve this heritage setting for future generations. In addition to the impact on Redcoat, the proposed development 1 would be fundamentally out of character with the adjacent bungalow at 2 Greyfriars, which is complementary in both size and design. 2 would represent a significant massing alongside 2 Greyfriars on a very tight plot, and would look directly into the private rear of 43 West Common to the north. The residents of 2 Greyfriars and 43 West Common have both objected to the application. Consequently, in addition to the explicit breach or above mentioned, we believe the application also breaches policy 85-1A of the St Albans local plan because the development distracts from the setting of nearby existing buildings. 2. Policy 66-1A of the St Albans local plan because the design takes no account of the character, height and massing of its surroundings on the small plot with the bungalow at 2 Greyfriars. And 3. ESD 2-1 of the Harpenden Neighbourhood Plan because the development does not make a positive contribution to the local character and heritage, nor maintain or enhance the positive elements of the conservation area. We strongly recommend the application is rejected, and councillors would be very welcome to visit Redcote at any time to consider our concerns and view this important setting for themselves before a decision is made. Thank you very much for hearing me.
Thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, we as a committee can visit applications for the road. We're not allowed to go. Different rules for town councillors and district councillors. If this comes to the, it will come to, if it was called in, and it came to the district council, then the district councillors can go on site and look every direction to see the impact, because they make serious decisions. Unfortunately, as town councillors, we can only look at it from the road, so therefore, some of our decisions I have to rely so much on plans, that we have before us. That's just the way that our rules go by. But having said that, you've done all your research, given us all the reference numbers, so I'm now over to the committee.
Well, I went round that way, and I could see that the Greyfriars Lane slopes upwards from Redcote Park. So if there's an additional flight effect of the property to where it came. I too focused on the SD2 when I was looking at the plan. And I have to say, I don't see how it enhances the area. So I have a lot of sympathy with the people in Redcote. I feel it should be left as a bungalow. That's how I feel it.
In terms of keeping the thing, what is flat, what is proposed, is that to keep it's not green belt, no.
No,
No, it's not.
it's
Just conservation area.
Yeah.
And I don't think what is proposed is sympathetic with the setting within a conservation area.
I must admit, I was concerned with the proximity to the neighbouring dwellings and the impact on adjoining properties. So I had great reservations on a two-storey building being constructed
Because there would be lots of amenity.
because of lots of amenities too. So I must admit, I'm quite sympathetic to both my colleagues have said, and I think at this stage that is what I would wish for us to say. I don't think, I know it's replacing a dwellings there, but it's very much replacing a single-storey dwelling with a two-storey, and it is quite proximate to the dwelling next door, and I think it will impact on them. As our speaker said, the loss of excuse the expression, a heritage asset in that respect. Have you got all the planning numbers that you need?
Yeah, I've got ES1, ES2, ES3,
So in the yeah. So in what we're saying is, yes, the committee at the moment is showing that yes, we're seriously concerned with the application that we have before us. We'll have a vote in a minute whether we think that should really be refused as far as we're concerned in the state it is at the moment. Now, this is not changing it into a dormer bungalow with accommodation in the roof. It's very much a two-storey property compared to a bungalow that's already on the site. So are we sympathetic with that, those thoughts?
We are.
Yes, I'd refuse, I'd go for refusal.
Yeah, so if we can just confirm that we're all happy. So, right, so rather different to the previous application, we are recommending with our thoughts to the district council that because of the impact on neighbouring properties, this application in its state at the moment should be refused.
Okay.
As I said earlier, we
No,
have
you have no power.
yeah, but we only make comments. We don't make a comment.
No,
We can't say we didn't try.
no, that's fine. No, okay. Well,
Certain weight is given to our comments.
yeah, well, thank you very much.
If you can convey those
I will let
forward
you.
for them.
I will let you get on with the rest of the agenda.
Okay,
And if
thank you very much.
If you forgive me, I won't listen to what you want to say. You know,
Occasionally, now, I'd be courtesy, quite often people have got families they want to get back to or things, or television programmes, football, but no, we always try, if people bother to come and see us, to do their applications first.
well, that's very kind. That's,
Would you mind if I very cheekily just said that one? Did you get my email about my progress lunch?
oh, I know. Are you
Yes.
Rosemary?
Yes.
Oh, now I've said.
Sorry about that.
Excuse me,
But that was
Sharon, if you've got just a minute, it's
No, please.
but I got your email, but I'll tell you, it's to amuse. This will be just give you a slight break and a little smile. But I couldn't understand it because I immediately invited my wife and I went to my wife's calendar and it said Rosemary lunch 12:30, and I thought, what the God's going on? Because she doesn't even know you, and she never knew I was going to be invited. So I had to wait till I saw her. And I said, what's this? Well, it turned out to be a Rosemary who's 70 years old and she's been invited to her lunch. So she offers her apologies and I'll give her the prize. Thank you. What a what a coincidence.
We put the world to rights.
But I have emailed you, but that was amusing, wasn't it? Anyway, I'll let you get on.
That's no problem at all. Thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for hearing what my son-in-law it was had to say. They're on holiday, but lucky for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carry on.
Thank you, come back. Right, so we now move back to page 13, and we start off at 2019-0503, part single, part 2-storey front, side and rear extension with rear and side roof lights, conversion of habitable space to integral garage, alterations to the openings, installation of roof, sun pipe and additional hard standing, 3 Lyndhurst Drive. Right. This is going through a bit of everything, actually. But I like what our office has written, but open to comments from committee. Councillor Cooley, any comments you'd like to make?
Sounds
No,
good.
that's fine. No, I think that's fine. I've nothing to add to that. I think on parking
I
lots.
think we've
Yes.
I think we've covered everything in that
Okay.
respect, and we can't really make any other
No,
comments
I
other than what we've already
I
got.
think when one's looking at parking, we can only express concern.
Yeah,
That's right.
no, it is, yeah. So are we all happy with what's
Yeah.
been written then?
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yep.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much. 2019-0514, front canopy, replacement roof tiles, change of external materials and alterations to openings, 3 Burywick. It doesn't come under our criteria, so we don't need to worry too much about that. We've just discussed Greyfriars Lane. Next page. Right, now 2019-0507. Likewise, we don't need to go through variation of conditions. I don't think there's anything too dramatic here. It doesn't meet our criteria anyway. It wasn't too dramatic in there. Right. 2019-0306. Replacement dwelling with new vehicle crossovers, 9 West Way. This one we do need to kick off. Yeah, please. Yeah.
I visited this property and it's quite interesting because it seems to be a bit further forward than the surrounding houses. It's sort of, I think it must be built in an era where there were few cars because it's sort of raised up. But I looked at the highways group and they recommended refusal.
Oh, right, so the highway deliberation, right.
Yes, so they're saying, it's about the drop curves, terms and conditions. So the application recommended refusal for the above reason.
I think if highways recommend refusal,
I think that's...
one refuses.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think...
it's as simple
Would
as
you like
that.
to take that and then
Probably so, yeah.
refer to that report?
Yeah, when I looked it up, when I went through the plans at that time, highways hadn't made
Right, yes.
any comments.
Relatively unusual for highways to
It is
recommend
very
refusal.
rare. I've looked at hundreds of them.
Yes, it's very rare, so they obviously have a real
Yes,
concern about it. I mean, all the, because gradually, the whole of Westwate's gradually being...
yeah.
Yes, so what we could put on there, that I think what we've got to say is serious concern with this application, especially as highways have recommended refusal due
Yes.
to the requirement of the drop-down curve.
Yeah.
So I can only presume that there is another one either adjoining it or there's already one on site and you're only allowed to have one drop-down curve now unless it's for road safety reasons.
I'm looking at it, yes.
They're not allowed to, healthy trees within the highway are not allowed to be removed for purposes of the highway.
Oh yeah, so it's protection of trees.
So, yes, which is effectively also protection of street.
Yeah.
So the protection of the street scene.
And in line with the recommendation of highways that have been refused.
Yeah.
Because if highways refuse, you really can't.
Well, no, that's
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the
That's quite dramatic,
That's
yeah.
quite clear, yeah.
Right, thank you, Rod. I missed that. So that is quite a, as you said, a very rare occurrence.
You've got to look at 100 highways reports.
To make no comment.
Yes, I know. You almost go on autopilot.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I do actually always read them, of course, but it is very rare for highways to recommend a refusal.
Right, 5/2019-0544, single-storey side extension with roof lights, enlargement of existing vehicle crossover, removal of edge and increased hard standing in front garden. This doesn't come under our umbrella for making decisions, so I think unfortunately we passed that one by.
Which one was that? Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, the next one.
No, it's all right.
Yeah.
We're not that yet.
5/2019-0545,
Yeah.
part single, part two-storey side and rear extensions, single-storey front extension, conversion of garage to habitable accommodation, alterations to openings, 2 Tyler's, Hartenden. Right,
Not a very big height, 2 times. It's an awful lot to do on a very, very, very constrained height. And I'm not sure the crossover has to have careful with that, because also, is it the house that's right on the corner?
Yeah.
So, and is there an issue with
I,
safety exiting with the new proposed crossover?
well,
The drive is very, very near the turning, yes it is.
looking, when I went on to St Albans website and looked on the site that shows areas which are maintained by highways and
Yes.
I believe
That is not their land.
No.
No, I don't think it is. I know the whole of Albany very intimately, and I don't think that is their land
No.
either. I think it
Shows
is.
that it doesn't belong
No, that is not.
Yeah.
So they can't really do it on.
Have you got them?
Yeah, I've got a few
on
things.
land.
Highways on this one are acceptable. Right.
They find it acceptable.
Yeah, They said there's a loss of the garage, one existing off-street parking space remaining on the driveway. And it just went to mile beyond the street. So already there was a concern about parking because most of the parking down, there's a lot of driveways that go over the road, so the street parking is very limited because of driveways. But also, I looked at the plan of this, and I drove up to the house and I thought, look at this garden wall.
Yes.
There's a garden wall there, it doesn't have to come down and be moved further to the road, couldn't it?
Yeah,
Which have moved onto
Onto
what is
people have to
their
be
land.
moved onto
Yeah.
land that is not their land.
Yeah.
Because if you drive, I mean, the whole of
Yeah.
the Aldwichbury area, pretty well, you have effectively grass verges, but they are not separated from the curtilage of houses, so you have to be aware of where they are, because effectively, as this is, that you're looking to actually build on, I think it's district land actually.
Oh, district, yeah.
I think it's district land.
There was another one as well, because in looking at this plan, if he builds it into that space there, that would affect this number 7
Yes. It's a pretty constrained site.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think just living aside anything else, it's actually, I think, just too big.
So concern for detrimental impact on immediate neighbours and
Overdevelopment.
overdevelopment.
And it would appear from the plans that it's looking to build on land that is not for, the land is outside of the curtilage of the property.
Yeah.
Can you just... Right, concern regarding overdevelopment, did you
Yes.
say?
Yeah, and you want of a limited site.
Yeah. Building.
Concern detrimental impact on immediate neighbours. And possible
And it would appear that development, the construction may be, of some
the
land, maybe
proposed development
proposed development will encroach
onto
upon
district land.
on district land, on not sure if it is district, just so land that is outside the property's curtilage.
Yes. Thank you. Mr. Roberts.
Because that's all it will consider that you've got all these houses along here, you've got these bits of grass going round, so don't belong to the houses.
Yeah, the highways people don't say anything, but I think there's a safety aspect.
So do I think it's a very real safety, because they're also, I mean, you mentioned about the wall, it also means the exit's going to be right on the corner.
Yeah.
It'll go to be right on the corner with Aldwichbury Crescent.
Yes, that's right.
So,
Are you concerned or?
I recommend
Recommend refusal.
Yeah, no vote?
Yeah. So we're
Yes.
unanimous to be refused. Yeah.
What they've got here, so they say, yes, garden wall, and they say, lawn, so that's sure that's not all the lawn.
No, it's one of the plans that
Make it quite
make
clear.
it quite obvious.
So it's not their lawn.
Because I don't trust when they supplied the plans, they seem to move things to
Well, I was
suit
thinking,
their...
well, I was going to call, well, lawn, well, hang on, all that bits of lawn are on there and not
Not
part of the
theirs.
property.
Yeah, well, I got it off the,
Yes.
Yeah, so let them prove it otherwise. Right. 5/2019-0522. Change of views from... Oh, sorry. Oh, no, it is this one. Change of views from Class B1 officers to Class D1 non-residential institution at the ground floor for Kingswell Court. I'm a little bit amused. Can somebody explain to me what a non-resident institution is?
Yes, I've got reasons now.
Physiotherapy treatment.
Oh, we're back to medical, are we? Okay.
Also,
Physiotherapy.
Yeah, physiotherapy
that's right.
treatment.
Coincidentally, which is rather a vague description.
Well, yes, yes, I was a little bit concerned about that. But,
So, yeah, the only reason, of course, is because they want to change its use. No, I didn't. They're going to have 4 staff. They're going to operate Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. There
Is there adequate parking?
sufficient parking at the rear.
I think when these were built, they all had built
Yeah.
objects for
Yes.
substantial offices. I mean, all I will say is there is a shortage of physiotherapy in Harpenden.
Yes, so,
Or indeed places where they can operate from.
Yeah, there is actually parking at that. I saw it on the, when you go onto Google Maps and you're looking to
you can see just round it, a little bit, it is round the back there.
Yeah.
Well, I've no problem with it.
Yeah.
Right, good. So, yeah,
No objection?
no objections. No.
No, I'm absolutely fine.
Right, 5/2019-0542, part single, part 2-storey rear extension with roof lights, single storey front extension, 23 Longfield Road. Again, I like what our officers put down. I'm happy with
I'm
it.
happy with that.
Yeah.
I was concerned about the porch
Yeah.
which is on the front, which reduces the parking area.
Yes.
Yeah, parking on there is a nightmare, so
Yeah.
it's, no, I think I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. Um, 5/2019-0291, demolition of conservatory and construction of single-storey rear extension and new side window, 6 Gilpin Green. Again, we don't come into this discussion. It's quite happy. Doesn't come under our umbrella. Now there's the next one, but we'll mention it. 5/2019-0540, construction of an outbuilding, 29 Cowper Road. Again, it doesn't come under our umbrella. So happy with that.
Yep.
Next one is discharge of conditions, but it's 5/2019-0550. I think so many people have looked at this, but the old Cock Inn, I think they were very interested when they started to build the extension on. I think they had about 10 visits from archaeological teams and what have you over the time, but I can only presume everything's been checked out now and approved, and it is a listed building, so in that respect, nothing else to discuss. Right, move onwards now. 5/2019-0551, 2-storey front extension, new hip roof form with crowned roof form, raised ridge liner roof lights, alteration to openings, single-storey rear extension with roof lights and alteration to the garage roof to pitch, 7 Pondrick Road. Anybody?
Yeah, okay, they're basically raising the roof by 400 mil and they're changing the shape to a hipped roof so that it minimises the impact on the adjoining neighbours. There's sufficient parking, there didn't seem to be any detrimental impact due to the positioning.
No one's objected.
Exactly, no, I haven't had any objection at all.
Okay, right, so yeah, I'm happy with how you put your comments. We're all happy with that. 5/2019-0380, garage conversion, 2 Mullard Mews, Station Road. This doesn't come under our criteria. Would you like to comment?
Yes, I will make a comment because I was
Sorry.
contacted by them to ask to do a call-in. I'm now looking at it, I have done a call-in both ways, Chair,
Right.
and I've done it for transparency purely because with the loss of a garage and the parking there is there is a planning inspector's history that it was the original development was turned down on parking, and the inspector then granted. And in view of that history, I
Right,
record
so
it
it's
in
coming
both
in.
ways, so it is transparent.
Okay, so with that in mind, I won't make a comment. These will become
And I've not made a comment either way.
No,
Normally it would fall outside that, but it is purely because there is that history with the planning inspectorate, and when you've had a history with the planning inspectorate.
No, exactly.
For transparency, it is quite a good idea to call it in.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, can you,
So if I just make a note in the minutes about what you...
just put concern for loss of the garage. We could just say concern for loss of the garage, no more. Not recommending
No,
approval,
okay.
not recommending, but concern for loss of the garage.
Yeah. Is that agreed?
Okay.
And that covers it.
Yeah.
We're not saying it should be refused, just we say concern for loss of the garage.
Can I just do a show of hands?
Yeah, so we haven't actually said parking, and we haven't actually said it should be refused as concern for loss of the garage. And then St Albans will realise it's been called in and... Okay, I'm not up to now. Which one have we just done?
Two man of
That
news.
one.
Two members, sorry, good to 5/2019-0590, single storey rear, single storey front, infill extension, new pitch roof and garage conversion, and new first floor side window at 1 Tigers. Again, no one's objected on the internet. so
Which
we
is
can see-
presumably it's opposite the one we've just
No, I just
discussed.
look at the number that we looked at through.
Well, I was going to say, I looked at Tyler's and thought,
Well, most of the numbers in most of the numbers in the Albury area, you have odds one side and evens the other, so I don't think they're next door to each other, or are they? Or are they opposite?
It is further up, so number 2
Is it the other
that we
side of the
looked at
road?
here, it is,
Yeah,
but
there's
it
number
is
2,
further
isn't
up
it?
past that big
Yes, it's past
parking
that,
there.
yes.
Parking was okay, I felt, same amount of bedrooms. To me, it was absolutely fine.
Yes.
Do you want to have a look at it?
No, I think it's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
It is, yes, and it is basically a single story extension, so you've got the same.
And you can see where the parking is.
Yes,
as
you can
well,
see,
so-
yeah.
Are you happy with that?
yep, it's fine. Good. Next one, 5/2019-0593, single story side extension, alterations to porch roof and partial garage conversion, and alterations to openings at 34 Chesterton Avenue. It doesn't come under our umbrella because it's single story, so as long as there's anybody wants to make anything. Right. Page, certificate of lawfulness, we don't need to worry about. 5/2019-0599. Next one, 5/2019-0619, single story side and rear extension at 8 Batford Road. For Jacques van der Westerhausen. I know it doesn't come under the auspicious without to the gentleman's name. It doesn't come under our umbrella to discuss. Next one, 5/2019-0375, single story front extension with pitch roof, roof lights and canopy porch, 56 Durwood Road. Again, it doesn't come under our umbrella. Next one, 5/2019-0581, two-storey front and side extension, single-storey rear extension, partial conversion of garage and alterations to openings for 82 Tuffnells Way. I like what our officer's written down, because I do think it has a detrimental effect on the neighbouring property.
Do we want to express concern on this?
community said, has anyone objected this?
No, I
No,
haven't.
I mean, I noticed that we've said also that the proposal does not meet the requirements for design strategy and local character and heritage, so,
I think it's, normally I've always thought unless a neighbour actually physically objects, I always like to say express concern rather than, but I'm guided by the rest of my team.
It's talking about how big is the detrimental impact.
yes, I'm more just considering the fact that if we have a look at it, that it does not meet the requirements of policies, design strategy and local character and heritage. Because I'd be somewhat concerned and say, well, express concern, but that's all, you know, but at the same time, it doesn't meet it, but that's all right, then we'll just say confirmed it doesn't.
Here, I'm not quite sure whether the existing oh right, so that's already existing there, so it's where it comes across here.
It's crap, isn't it? Is this two-storey or one? It's two-storey here, isn't it?
It's a two-storey front and
Yes.
side, yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
and single-storey rear.
Yes, I'm just asking about the fact that, you know, if it doesn't meet requirements of policies regarding design strategy, local character and heritage,
And the converted the garage.
and converted garage, then surely, if we think that is the case, surely we should refuse.
Because it comes a lot further forward
Yeah.
than 1984.
Yes, exactly, and that will, which will materially alter the street scene and that character along there.
Well, I suppose, you know, at the end of the day, things have to comply with their local plans.
Yes, well, that's what I'm saying. If we don't think it does, I think things don't comply. If we take the view it's not compliant with our neighbourhood
We
plan,
should say no.
we should say no. I don't think you can say concern. I think you could say no.
I'm happy
to refuse that on the basis of this.
Yeah.
refused due to limited references in the local plan and indeed the immediate impact on
That's right.
Because it is coming a long way forward.
Yeah, it could be that they don't really understand the plans. you know.
Well, that's the other thing, yes, indeed. We have to do our bit.
Yeah.
It's no good them jumping up and down when it starts to be being built.
No.
And they realise the impact it's going to have.
Yes. I think we should try and protect people.
Yes. And as I say, that if we feel that it doesn't meet design strategy and local character and heritage, then I think then we should refuse. I think it's that I think it's the way it comes forward, it distorts the street scene.
So we're saying we would recommend refusal
Yes.
due to its impact on properties and non-compliant with. You can look at the respective bits.
Yes,
For us, right.
I mean, you want the housing stock to improve, don't you? You don't want a legacy of all these poor developments from
Okay. We've got sufficient what we need. Right, next one we've done. Right, 2019-0615, erection of single-storey front extension with pitched roof and two-storey rear extension with dual pitched roof and alterations to the side and front fenestration following demolition of existing extensions at 11 Kingsthorne Close. Right, we've got
This one I was concerned about, and I don't know whether you want to cover it as a recommendation, but I felt that the extensions were bigger than the original building.
scale.
Yeah, I have a look and see what you're saying, but it's just almost like it's losing the original building somewhere.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. They're pretty big, isn't it? It's rather monolithic.
So the extensions of the grade, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all this here and all this. That's usually double.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yeah.
Two stories or back.
Have we got a street sink of
Yeah,
some
that's
sort as well?
Mm,
Put it in the context of the adjacent buildings.
I don't know if there's anything.
Is that all there is? These to it?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that puts it in context.
Oh,
You see?
hang on.
Is there anything that puts it in context?
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's yeah. Am I the one? The right one?
Yeah.
Kingston Close, yeah.
Well, and is the grey on this just the extension bit? It's just the extension, that there.
Yeah. Well,
Because on that basis, it's not hugely bigger than next door, is it? That makes it.
You would guess looking at that.
Now, all I would say is, if you look at the next application down, it's the same address.
Yeah.
Oh,
Conversion of existing garage.
Oh, oh, yes. Well,
So we're losing another parking space.
yes.
I don't understand why this doesn't appear.
I'm having some trouble understanding these.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'll try and view of that.
Understanding that.
Because it's actually showing that's also grey and this is white here.
that's the valley.
It's a valley, yes.
That's the valley on the road, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's just the way that they've done the roof line.
yeah. I think to me it is an overdevelopment, isn't it?
How many bedrooms have you lined up?
Yes,
I can work out.
yes, because it's.
Because they haven't got huge front gardens of parking.
I'm slightly puzzled by the fact that, you see, I'm slightly puzzled by the fact that you have an application for a large extension, and then you're looking for a certificate of lawfulness, which will then convert an existing garage, matching materials, which is presumably additional. So how many bedrooms are they actually, or what are they actually?
Well, I mean, if we just looked at the second one, the second one mentioned, in its own right, I don't see that as a problem.
No.
But when you look at it in conjunction with the first one,
No, that's the point. I don't have a problem with it just in isolation, but the fact is, you can't look at it in isolation because you
No.
put the two together. It's,
well, the consecutive laws, you put them in together, because it's consecutive planning applications.
yeah,
But in isolation, the second one, I don't think there's a problem.
no, but there is when you put
But
them
there is when
together.
you build a big extension on it, because
Yeah.
it reduces the car parking space
I
even
would
more.
Slightly story going
Yeah.
across there and then
Yeah.
whacking right to the story.
And also garage.
Yeah.
You can't in this context, you can't separate them out, can you?
No.
And I don't see how you can, I don't know what you put on that, but I think one has to put something on the second about, no, the certificate of lawfulness is applied for, but it is something along the lines of that it cannot be seen separately.
It has to be looked in conjunction
Has to
with,
be looked at
with,
conjunction
with the other reference number.
yes, because you can't
No, because
separate them out, can you? I mean, they're trying to, yes, quite.
trying to pull the wool over our eyes really, saying, because I think if we put the first one saying it's conversion of the garage,
Yes,
we'd have said no to loss.
yes,
We'd have said no to loss, more loss of parking.
yes.
Mm.
Can we get something like that down? Is that right?
So I'll put, certificate of lawful, certificate of lawfulness, and I'll put the application number. Has, the committee noted that certificate of lawfulness has been applied for, but considered that it needed to be looked at in conjunction with this application. Anything?
No, there should have been
Well,
one. Basically, should be one application, I don't
Good.
know.
And consider this an overdevelopment of the site, I still think.
Yes, I'm considering
Yeah.
an overdevelopment site.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see what they've done.
Consider this to be an overdevelopment of the site.
So that's existing,
Yeah.
and then they pitch roofs on first to it. Come out the front and obviously.
I mean, the plots aren't that big up there,
No, they're not.
so,
So, are you recommending refusal?
Yep.
Yes.
no, because of overdevelopment. So,
Um,
and in conjunction with the certificate of lawfulness, because we have to look, because if we approve one,
yes,
which they get then done,
yes,
Yeah,
and then work, or we improve both,
yes.
yeah.
in looking singularly, if we look at them together, then it just,
Yes. Just trying to work, so I mean, is this the garage that's the front?
I'm sorry, I'm going to
No, I'm trying to see which is,
where
where on these plans, which is the garage that's,
They show existing.
so where's the garage? Oh, here's the garage here then, so, yes. Which,
Right.
it's not just the,
Take that away completely.
yes, they've got that as a ground floor plan where it says garage, but it's not a garage, is it? Because it looks
We'll
like
take the
a
one, take the garage away. So,
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, is a garage not a garage?
because we've put another application in to change the use of
Right,
it.
yes.
Right,
So, confused.
so,
Have to help me here.
you're recommending
Recommend
Refuse
refusal.
due to
refusal on
overdevelopment
this
of the
one,
site.
yeah, and you're
And asking because of the link to the two.
linking the two.
Yeah,
And so you're recommending refusal on the actual certificate of lawfulness as
Yeah.
well?
Yes.
because it has to be looked in conjunction
Conjunction
with.
with,
So we'll cross refer
Yeah.
them both.
So do you want the same comments?
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes,
Yeah.
singularly,
yes.
maybe, as long as there's no impact on the neighbour, possibly. When you look at them both together, they're trying to do too many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say, I mean, you know, you could have planned for this. You've got a plan drawn for the
Includes
first
the garage.
proposal, which includes the garage, which
And
then
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 there's another application
next
says
there's
go
another
with that.
application saying you're going to remove the garage.
Once they've done this, is there sufficient parking on the site?
Well, once you take away the garage, I don't think there is
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So should we add that in?
Yes, I'm concerned that loss of
Well, we
garage.
said because
Yes.
we've lost the garage,
Yes.
would overdevelopment of the, yeah. I think we could put the whole lot in really.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yep. Can
That could be quite an interesting one, that will be. Could write a book on that. Right. 5/2019/0633, two-storey side extension, alteration to openings, on Riverbanks Close. As Lynn said, it's on the floodplain, there's no flood risk assessment.
The actual, when you do a flood risk assessment, you only have to do it when it's within zone 2 and 3. So following this, Carl and I did a little bit of research, and we found out that this particular property is within Zone 3. So
It's the requirement.
it is a requirement, so with your permission, I will add in, if you're happy with the wording that I've put,
Mhm.
I will just add in, I'll just change the wording slightly, so as this property is sited within flood
Zone 3, yes.
Yeah.
To make it clear this is in the flood zone.
I'm
Yeah.
happy,
Yes.
that's okay.
Yes.
Of course it is, yeah,
Yeah.
fine. No, very
I wonder if
well
the property
researched.
registered that
Yeah, that's very good.
there was in a flood zone.
Yeah.
It is on, I think on the environmental agent.
Is it? It's on the register.
I
Yes.
mean, if you park in front of it, you can see the river.
Yes,
Yeah.
you certainly can. Yeah.
Running through the...
Right, so you're okay with that?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect, yep. Hold on. 5/2019-0580, Part 2, Part Single Side and New Extension, and new front porch, 71 Grove Avenue.
Yep, that's fine.
Yes. Fine.
Can't think of anything.
No, it looked like it changes to me.
Lots of houses along there have had
Yeah.
bits and pieces added to them, but can't think of a reason.
There was no loss of the amenity at all.
No.
Efficiency
Just
was
tidying it up.
Yeah, definitely needed tidying up. There was only sufficient parking for the 2 vehicles that I could see, but I don't think you're going to be able to change
Not,
too
no, there's
much
no
of
parking restrictions at the moment in Grove
No.
Avenue.
No.
Good, well done, yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, 5/2019-0585. Discharge of conditioned landscapes, we don't need to get involved in that
No.
for 4 high elms. Those of you who sat in this committee know it's been controversial since day one. They keep having new applications or discharge of this or that. But, so we'll won't dwell on that one. Next one, 5/2019-0591, single-storey side, front and rear extensions, roof lights, alterations to openings. This is an amendment to an application that was put in last year. I don't think it's already gone through from last year. Don't think it's a problem.
No, it's not
We've been
it's
through.
not a material alteration.
No. Next one, 5/2019-0600, raising of ridge height to incorporate loft conversion with rear gable and roof lights and existing front tiled cladding to be replaced with painted render at 18 Reedhampstead Road.
Does that have an effect on the streets?
Well, I think
Yeah,
you
you got, yeah,
I think the change to
you got it here, haven't you?
change to painted render from tile cladding, I
Yeah.
think might do. I think we've had this on other properties, not on that road, but we've had this issue come up in other properties, haven't we?
I mean, I thought these along Reedhampstead Road have all sort of been designed very similarly.
Yes, they have been, because we've, not on Wheatley Road, but we've met within the same area. I recall another property where they came up with this, and it materially, I think, to change paint, and it materially alters the street scene.
And they're changing the roof height
Yeah.
as well by, which is well over the roof.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
does the loft conversion, you know, lots of...
I mean, that's what it looks like.
That is a very high roof height.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the actual.
And they're big houses along there, but
Yeah, and there's quite a distance.
Yeah, it's quite,
but
yes, that will really affect neighbours, will it?
no, but I don't particularly care for changing the cladding to painted render.
No, and I think just raising the roof line.
Mm.
Just put it a little bit closer. Not just change the character.
Yeah.
I think we can use it though, can we? Because I think the wording is right.
So it's probably good to go with the wording.
express concern. I don't like the design, but design is.
That's,
I like what we've said.
that's personal.
You all happy with what
Yep,
we've
yes,
said?
yes,
Yes.
Yeah, good. Right, thank you, Bridget. Yeah, well done. Yeah. Right, 5/2019-0606, single-storey front extension, partial garage conversion to habitable accommodation, raising of ridge height and roof extension to create first floor accommodation with front and rear roof lights. Resubmission following refusal at One Meadway. I'm still concerned in the impact in 16 Sibley.
Really?
It's the way 16 Sibley is quite high up, so it looks down on this. It's the way it was constructed, the original One Meadway. It's recently been bought. I don't know whether the previous reasons for refusal have actually been addressed. I know you think it may have been. Personally, I'm quite anti. Thoughts?
It's a difficult plot, that one, Sibley, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big plot,
It's a big
but
plot.
because they extended they allowed number 16 to.
Yeah,
It's on the corner.
it's, I know, because
Yeah,
they've
the
got a
bungalow,
plot, isn't
because
it?
they allowed
Anyway.
it 16 to be extended
Oh,
originally. That really filled up their plot,
Yes,
and their windows. One Sibley complained that their windows looked down in it. Now, by One Meadway having an extra story on, they'll look down to there.
yeah.
It's a long flat building at the
I think
moment.
I know because there was the one that's been impacted was the one originally put an application.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. We had a lot of problems
It's,
with it.
it's a sort of, yes, you've got, it's on that corner there, there are a bit,
Well, because the other 14, the other corner.
various permutations of planning applications for that
Yeah.
particular bit of
It's going to be
Sibley
huge.
and that
It's a
road.
horrible design.
Yes.
It's more like prefabs on the top.
There's no side windows, so that's why.
No,
And they pulled it in and they put half tips roofs on.
it's just
Doesn't match the streets though, does it?
Well, it is trying to get,
trying to get round.
it's trying to get round the reasons for refusal.
Yeah, I mean.
I would like, personally, I'd like to say previous reasons for refusal have not been addressed. Because the actual, what they said at St Albans said was the reason of its excessive width at two-storey height above and proximity to the side boundaries, right, they brought it in slightly, proposed development would create a gross dwelling house that would be not be in keeping with the character and appearance of the original building.
It still isn't.
No, I think it's so ugly.
So I'll go on with
Previous reasons for
Have
not being addressed.
Have not been,
Sorry
or not
to-
been fully addressed.
Not being fully addressed.
It is basically, I mean, it's the classic problem of trying to put something in of a certain size on a constrained plot.
Sorry, man, I have to
That's
disagree
all
with you on
right.
that
No,
one.
that's fine. Okay.
I mean, if it was a nice design, turn it to a dormer bungalow, I probably could go by it.
Yeah.
But it just looks like the some prefabs and stuff.
Well, it does go to look like it's been thrown down there.
Yeah.
Totally out of
Yeah,
keeping.
the roof doesn't.
It is totally out of keeping with the street scene.
Right, okay, right.
It's
Let's
it's
move
an
to-
recommend refusal. The committee considers that previous reasons for refusal have not been addressed. Yes, they may have moved the side windows that looked into the property, but it's just not a very nice design.
No. No, it's a very overbearing design, isn't it?
Okay.
5/2019-0634, proposed new vehicle access to former carriageway drive, new gates, South Home, Redbourne Lane, Hatching Green.
I don't know if this one at the county went now to adopt theirs.
It's going to have three. If you look at
I was going to have,
it was approved in 2018 for demolition of the existing
Yeah.
dwelling, construction of 3 detached dwellings.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
So I'm presuming by that the 3 dwellings would need new vehicle
yes,
access.
okay.
So yes, I can
Yes,
understand the
I think,
carriageway
yes,
drive.
that's fine,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
I mean, the only thing I would say about that is that if it's the house I'm thinking is, it's on the main road, and therefore to drive in and out is not very good, or to reverse onto the main road.
Oh, was it that house right on the corner there?
It's
No.
on Redbourne Lane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on Redbourne Lane.
It's a big sign up saying it's been...
the cream house.
That's what I meant, the
Yeah.
Green House, the
It's,
level
it's a big note saying Jarvis just
Yeah.
3 plots.
Yeah.
You can buy
Oh,
plot
yes, the
1,
one
2
that's
or
up,
3.
the one that's up for sale, the one
Yes.
you drive past is up for
Yeah.
sale.
But originally, they've got the existing driveway, and originally they were going to have one, because there's another property here,
Yes,
and they originally were going to have a driveway here in the last application,
Mhm.
but now they've moved it over to here.
Okay, so,
that's a bit safer.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, I think,
Yeah.
So,
no,
it's coming out of
I'm
the
happy
point of
that
view.
road to reverse onto, I think,
Used to be,
Yeah.
anyway to encourage, yeah.
yes, because
So
it's
there's
quite a
probably
busy
been-
road at times.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't
That's
think
okay.
that's a problem.
No, that's all
No.
right.
So I just wanted to make sure that the trees were actually protected.
I think that's the house that we've all bought it. I said, when I looked at the applications last year, St Albans gave permission for the split into 3, although, as long as the tree roots were protected. And likewise, we've mentioned that again here. So. Okie dokie, right, 5/2018, 3331, 2-storey front and rear and first floor side extension with front bay window and rear Juliet balcony, we all know what I think of those. Garage conversion to habitable accommodation and replacement front dormer windows, 29 Townsend Lane. And again, I like what we said, it would impact on the neighbouring property
Yeah.
31. Yeah, I like what you said. Without being actually to the rear of the properties and realise what you could actually see from a Juliet balcony, I'm always very suspicious of the...
Yes.
Yeah, we just always got to be very
Yeah,
careful.
sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
What is 4 to, it's changed to 4 to 5 bedrooms.
Where's the Juliet?
It's on the rear, at the back.
Rear elevation.
No,
I can't see one there.
This is on the actual design.
Well, no, I can't either.
Maybe there's a ground floor plan.
Oh, that's ground floor.
Yeah, so it's one of the sheets.
I mean, what they are looking for is actually, that's the rear of it as it looks at the moment.
Oh, yes.
I mean, the actual work they're going to do, I think, is going to be an improvement, I think. That's the
It's a bit cool at the
way
moment.
it looks at the moment.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I still can't see the Juliet balcony in the design. I can't see. Oh, here it is on here. Proposed rear elevation. There you go.
Oh, I'm with you, yes, I'm sorry.
It is a conservation area.
Well,
They are adding additional blocks like paving, driveway, visible parking.
I know you've raised the concern of loss of light to neighbouring property, and I think we've got to say subject to no loss of amenities for adjoining properties.
And, I mean, we have to do, yes, it's probably the design is okay in a conservation area. Well, it probably is, because it's an improvement on what's there, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I agree, it's an
Basically, it's
improvement to what's there.
yeah.
We've just got to make sure that there is no, we've considered loss of light.
Yes, because it's
We-
quite,
we
quite
need-
a way forward from the adjacent property.
With the rear extension, when you draw a 45-degree line, you still want hidden.
We'll just say loss of amenities, because you know,
That's right. Also amenities to,
with my own thoughts on Juliet balconies and what people can see from there or not.
yeah.
Can I just add in loss of community?
Yeah, loss of light or loss of amenities
Yeah.
to adjoining property,
Mm.
or loss of privacy.
I've got privacy.
You've got privacy there, yeah, no, loss of amenities, if you cover light and
Yeah.
views, yeah, you've got privacy, so.
Very good. Yeah, it's a very nice sized house. It's just, the shame is, it kind of looks dilapidated in this presentation.
It's up a bit.
So does the committee just want me to add that additional bit to the original wording?
Yeah, no, I like what you said, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, concerns regarding the two-storey rear extension which will impact on neighbouring property in terms of possibly loss of amenity, which will, that would cover my Juliet balcony. Right, move on to Scouts. 5/2019-0315, new storage unit following removal of existing shed, First Harpenden Scout Group, Granary Lane. No problem.
It's not going to
I don't
affect
mind.
anybody.
It's not going to affect
Anybody.
anybody.
No.
Just quite happy to have a new Scout hut.
Yes, quite happy with that.
We've raised the money, we can do it, yeah,
Right, is that here?
that's perfect,
Yes,
yeah.
fine.
Got another one on Pondrick Road. Right, 5/2019-0562, single-storey rear extension to Pondrick Road. Don't worry, we don't need to do single-storey,
No, that's good.
so no comments for that one.
Yeah.
Next one, discharge of conditions, we'll get rid of this as well. 5/2019-0572, samples of materials we don't need to worry about. Next one, 5/2019-0610, certificate of lawfulness, proposed. Likewise, we don't need to worry too much about that. Next one, 5/2019-0617, single-storey rear orangery, 16 Crabtree Lane. We don't need to get involved in that.
Yep.
Orangery is just a posh word for a conservatory, isn't it?
Yep.
Certificate of lawfulness, again, 5/2019-0623, don't need to worry about that. Variation of conditions, likewise, 5/2019-0624. So, the only reason I said about 71 Townsend Lane is that we now omit approved basement. Oh, schedule of materials to omit. Yeah, don't have to worry about that. 5/2019-0631, certificate of lawfulness, external cladding. Seems to be the new word at the moment. Don't have to worry. Next one, 5/2019-0632, single-storey rear extension with lantern light following demolition of existing store, 25 Overstone Road. It doesn't come under our umbrella. 5/2019-0636, single-storey side and rear extension, pitch roof and canopy to front porch, alterations to openings and extension to rear patio at 16 Churchfield. Again, doesn't come under what we need to do. And last but not least, I'm sorry,
Well, no, we're getting to last but not least, I was going to make a comment.
please, no, I missed one.
No, I was going to make one on the last one.
Oh,
I was going to say, should we actually declare them non-pecuniary interests as district councils?
but it's only discharge conditions.
It's only discharge conditions,
Yeah,
so
it's
we're all
not,
right.
we don't,
No, I'm
actually,
just being bells
it
and
doesn't come
braces.
under our umbrella
It doesn't come under
anyway.
our umbrella anyway.
No,
I'm just
if
being
it
bells
was-
and braces.
Yes, if it was actual planning action,
Then
yes, we
yes,
would need
but
to.
it isn't actually, it's just
It's just,
discharge.
no,
We're okay.
because they haven't actually mentioned on there where they're going to put the spoiler, which we talked about earlier, to level the football pitch, but we do have discussions at lunchtime about that with Mary. And that concludes that part of it. Right, so now back to the agenda, and that is exactly what we need to do. Right, number 7, any appeals?
They're on page 25 to 30, and they're appeal for notice.
Oh, yeah, so, yeah. Halfmoon Tennis Club lost their appeal. The appeal was dismissed. They're not going to have any more balloons. And that's it, wasn't it? Just that one, Brisbane Tennis Club. Yep, good. Prior notifications.
Yeah, on page 31 for 184 Station Road, just a single story extension.
I don't know, that's to Victoria, is it?
One at Thames Crescent,
Problem of Sandridge and Number
demolition.
St Albans list of decisions. Yep.
The notice.
I'm always amazed that we need to publish those. They're on the internet. I do think I have spoken to Carl about it. I do think that using Northern paper. But I don't know how much of your time it takes up. It's just concerning. Number 10, application for tree works. We don't have to worry about.
The
And we go to the next meeting. Well, they've got down here, Planning Committee North, 4th of June.
That's the only one that's part of the
In fact, there is one on the 13th of May, which is very much from now.
Oh, that's useful.
Ah, right.
So
okay.
that, but he's trying to get it moved because it does affect possibly 4 or even 5 district council. No, it'll affect 4 people on Council North. And I don't want to miss him from mayor making, but on the other hand, we've got a couple of plans at the moment, which would be very controversial if I wasn't at. But, bring this meeting to a close at 9 o'clock, 2100.